This program is brought to you in part by the Royal Bank of Canada, serving Canadians for 126 years, one customer at a time. Hello and welcome to a documentary edition of DNET, the Disability Network. I'm Bill McQueen. It takes many strategies to find a job, especially in today's competitive job market. Often something more than traditional approaches are called for. New ones have to be created. It goes without saying that most persons with disabilities want to contribute to their communities. They would rather work than sit at home. On today's program, we'll take a look at how 3 people have joined the workforce and how they've done it with the support of a unique partnership. There's a real need for permanent full-time jobs in the marketplace. The need is even greater for young people with disabilities, but prospects look pretty slim. Even when an opening is posted, the competition can be very tough.
A recession hit, and then I went from, contract job to contract job, part-time jobs.
My future was a little bit up in the air, to be honest with you.
After the accident, I can't do the same things I used to be able to do.
You look around you, how many people do you know that are working McDonald's who have MAs and BAs? Everybody out there working, they all have degrees and they're all not doing what they went to school to do.
However, for young people with disabilities, there is some hope. Several work experience programs are offered by Human Resources Development Canada, or HRDC. And these programs are linked directly to jobs.
Harry, I've got somebody on your line.
Okay, I'll take it in my office.
Harry Bezrushko is a consultant. He works with the federal government. His area of expertise is the Youth Initiatives Program.
Youth Initiatives.
Sponsored by HRDC.
Under the Youth Initiatives umbrella, we are committed to the summer employment programs, summer career placement. We have a Youth Service Canada program. We have a component for summer students, Canada Employment Office for students, all of which are trying to make and assist youth and students make that transition into the labor market.
One program under the Youth Initiatives umbrella is the Youth Internship Program. It's designed to bridge the gap between school and marketplace. The Youth Internship Program also offers courses for young people with disabilities.
The youth internship programs that we get involved in are primarily seed-type fundings. Normally 1 year in duration, 2 years in duration, but it's primarily to get the project up and going, and then we let the partners carry on the initiative and the intervention on themselves. As a matter of fact, we did a project with the Disability Network. I'll just pull out the file. It was a project we did a couple years ago. Primarily objective was to train people with disabilities to work in the broadcast industry, and the secondary objective is to promote independent living. The project was a one-time deal for approximately $150,000, very successful, but it was now the DNET role and objective to continue on with the goals and objectives that we started funding.
Parts of the country join.
Okay. So we'll go to a wide shot. Well, in fact, in a wide shot, yeah.
This initiative is across Canada and has been well received by numerous organizations and employers and industries.
So that fits in with what you're doing.
This is a booklet that's produced by our department. It's an update on the youth strategy. It's a macro picture of what's happening. In it, it highlights some specific micro projects across the country. There's one in Edmonton, and there's one here particularly that we're focusing on the Walmart project. The crucial point in any of the youth internship projects that we look at is partnership. And in this particular project, the partnership that was established was between Walmart and CCRW, the Canadian Council on Rehabilitation and Work, and our department. All 3 came together, saw the benefits of this program, saw the benefits to the participants, and collectively came together to develop this project.
Okay, so you're going to let me know about whether you can make it on Thursday.
Val Duffy works for the Canadian Council on Rehabilitation and Work, or CCRW. One of her roles is project manager. She explains the need for partners.
Well, we couldn't have done it ourselves. CCRW certainly had the initiative and the desire to guide this kind of a program, but we needed the buy-in from the employer in order to get the buy-in from the government funder.
Edward Gould is the Director of Communications for Walmart Canada.
At Walmart, respect for the individual is one of our core values, and when we were approached by the CCRW to participate with other partners in the community, we really welcomed the opportunity. We felt we could make a contribution, and we certainly supported the goal to break down barriers towards employment.
Okay, well, I'll have my cell phone with me, so.
So, a partnership is in
All right,
place.
that sounds good.
And the
We'll talk to you
paperwork's
later.
completed.
Bye.
But how does all this provide appropriate experience and jobs for some young people with disabilities?
There are a lot of programs out there in the community for individuals and individuals with disabilities, but if those training programs are not tied directly to employment opportunities, then again, we're not breaking down the barriers, or as many of the barriers as we need to break down. So guaranteed employment is the most crucial component when we're approaching an employer and asking for their commitment and their sponsorship in this kind of a program.
They told me about Walmart, and I've done a lot of different jobs, but I've never tried retail. And what really struck me about Walmart was, you know, their whole philosophy, their whole way of doing things. It seemed like a different company. It seemed like I'd really blend in. You know, they have empowering the individual, teamwork. I mean, it seemed like a really good opportunity. Plus the fact that it was permanent, full-time. I mean, you just don't hear that sentence anymore. It's almost obsolete.
The Youth Internship Program of the federal government, the CCRW, and Walmart had formed a partnership to find jobs for young people with disabilities. But the work had just begun.
There were three major elements to the training. Goodwill of Toronto provided retail customer service training and workplace health and safety training and personal effectiveness work. George Brown College, on the other hand, provided employability skills training, academic upgrading, and computer skills. And Discoverability provided the training component that focused on self-assessment, looking at what accommodations might be necessary in a learning or a work environment.
John Leonard was a student in the course.
It was a 7-month course, which there was 7 weeks of job shadowing. And what that was you went to different jobs within Walmart, some in head office, some in the stores, to try to decide at the end of this what job you would want. So that's one of the things that really turned me on to this program, because I thought it was really good. You get a broad sense of what the company was about, and you got to pick, the field in which you wanted to go in.
Jim Scott was also a part of the program sponsored by the partnership.
We covered a lot of things, everything from customer service, that being the major portion of the program, to CPR and janitorial maintenance training.
To enter this youth internship program, participants had to self-declare their disability. And they had to be between the ages of 15 and 29.
We were bringing individuals in who needed to have the potential to succeed, but who might not have had any job experience or any relevant transferable skills. So the criteria was simply that individuals needed to have the potential, needed to have the energy, needed to have the drive to make a commitment to work hard.
Do you have any idea of what it did cost?
The cost of the project was approximately $275,000 for 12 months. The real key in the success of this project is that virtually 80% of the participants in the projects all landed jobs with Walmart.
We did a very extensive outreach across the Metro community to get any interested applicants into the program. There were upwards of 150 people who came to our initial information sessions. We then invited people to do some grade 8 functional math and English testing to ensure they could do what they needed to do in terms of the classroom work. And that number then, 87 people wrote those tests, about 55 of them succeeded, and all of those individuals were interviewed by teams of Walmart associates, and 15 were chosen. And they were difficult choices because there are a lot of good people who applied.
One of the things that we have emphasized is to take an individual that has an interest in retail and provide to he or she the wealth of experience that we've garnered as being the most successful retailer in the world. So we start that people are our most valuable asset. We call our people associates, and that's one way of us reinforcing the notion that we see them as an integral part of our success.
Okay. Thanks very much. I'd appreciate it. Okay, who's going to do the cheer here?
Air filters?
Yeah.
And they're right over here. Which type of car do you have, sir? A Buick?
So that's where Mike just went off to.
Jan McKenzie has been the glue that has held this partnership together on a day-to-day basis. She's the project liaison officer, so her role is to liaise with all of the partners with a special focus on the training participants, now the graduates.
I visit the students regularly, the graduates regularly, both the ones working at home office and those working in the stores, to help them troubleshoot any problems that come up relating to their disability or accommodations that they might need to help them work more efficiently and more effectively. Also to answer any questions that the managers or co-workers might have.
We were talking about some of those new items we were creating yesterday, a few minutes ago.
Jim Pilkington is the division merchandise manager for sporting goods in the home office in downtown Toronto. He's also John Leonard's manager.
The other things created. Actually, Johnny Leonard joined the division about a month ago now. We depend on him to make sure our price changes, make sure all of our item file changes are correct, and if we've got new items that we want to introduce to the public, we can't even get them to the store if we can't get it done. And he's actually settled in and doing a great job. And we count on him, and the deadlines are the same as anybody else in the division. He's accountable to have his job done as is required, and he's meeting the standard.
I've never actually viewed myself as a handicap, just someone who had to do things a little differently. There's obviously a lot of, stereotypes and stigmas in society, but what I found was, just being handicapped, it gives you certain attributes. Just by living. For example, just day-to-day living, it makes you very adaptable to change. It makes you very determined. It makes you very strong, physically and mentally. And these are attributes that all companies are looking for today. So my advice to handicapped people looking for work would be to ride these attributes because you have them, and it's a thing of the 90s.
Well, Jim's really into the CBL.
Agnes Traynor works at the Keele and Lawrence store in Toronto. She's the assistant manager for men's and ladies' wear. Frequently, she works with Jim Scott.
All the assistant managers have to make sure that Jim Scott's comfortable and the staff is comfortable with Jim. We just had a staff meeting with the associates and the managers, and we told them we were going to have Jim Scott, and he was going to be the people greeter to start off with, and then he would be going throughout the store, helping customers, directing them.
May I help you, sir?
He's an absolute asset to the store. He's very bright. He's really friendly. All the girls all love him.
How are you doing, Kathy?
Doing okay. The store's not too busy today, but
And he's been absolutely wonderful. I think he has got much more confidence in himself and more willing to talk to people.
I think you might be able to give me more than one. How you doing?
Oh, I'm okay.
Okay. Sometimes I lose myself. Been working here for 3 months and I lose myself. Hi, Franca.
Hi, Jimmy.
Okay. Oh. Happens every once in a while. How are you?
How's everything?
Everything's working out well.
Yeah.
How's everything in the automotive?
Oh, it's pretty slow today, but...
Pretty slow. What are you looking for?
You know the towel mats that you put on the floor?
Go back to the front and they might be able to bring it right to you. I think I'm going for lunch now.
I did housewares, hardware, do everything here.
You did all that? Jack of all trades, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Siegel.
That's right.
Mike Siegel, you are going to be there. Turn.
Like working with this guy. Great, you know? He's a good guy. We're all good, you know, but you're our superstar.
The best day was having them graduate and finish and have them say, you know, yes, I could complete this and go on to actual work in a real job at Walmart stores and home office. That was the payoff for me. I think this kind of program is very good way to go with the partnerships that we've developed, and it has a lot of benefits both to the young people themselves and to the employers.
Gary Hayes is another employee and former student. He also went through the program sponsored by the partnership.
I was in a bad single vehicle motor accident back in 1989.
From the automotive department, 501, please, automotive.
And I suffered traumatic brain injuries. I was in a coma for 6 weeks, and the initial diagnosis was that I had only about a 10% chance of survival, and if I did survive, I'd be in a wheelchair or bedridden for the rest of my life. So I think I'm doing a little better than that right now. The thing that kept me going and motivated me, I guess you could say, was I have a 8-year-old son, and I see him on alternate weekends, and I just wanted to succeed for him. And I think it has worked because we've become even closer since my accident. Okay.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Have a good day.
You too, thank you.
I feel I know cars very well, and I'm able to share that knowledge with the customer.
Agnes Trainer explains how working with persons with disabilities has helped the staff.
Even with our own customers that come in with a disability, they're more than willing to go over and help them, and they know what they need, so that now they know the difficulties the other person's going, so they anticipate the customer's need. Much easier.
Back.
Okay, you're back?
Back.
Through this unique partnership, some young people with disabilities have had on-the-job experience in a retail setting. These jobs are guaranteed when the work experience has been successfully completed. But is this a one-shot deal? Or will there be a future for such programs?
Projects like Walmart and CCRW indicate that these things work. We're very convinced that the youth internship program will continue for some time now. It's been looked upon as a very good program, and despite some cutbacks in other areas, there is a commitment that youth and youth initiatives, and particularly the youth internship, will continue for some time.
In terms of what's next for me, what's next for CCRW with this particular training model, again, we're looking at working to put our learnings and our experiences and our recommendations into a publication. We also have plans to develop a workshop based on that publication that we can take to a number of communities across the country, whereby we can bring together potential partners, introduce this partnership model.
One of the most important aspects that we feel of this program will be the impact that Walmart may have on other corporations. We enjoy a reputation as being the most successful retailer in the world. And if through our contribution other companies realize that they should get involved, and smart companies are doing these kinds of programs to break down barriers, then we will feel we've made a real contribution. We're very pleased with our first phase of work with the CCRW, and we think it's going to be very much a learning experience from us. We're going to take much of what we see and learn and have contributed to this program and apply it elsewhere in the country, you know, in the future.
That she's all right. Can I help you with anything?
Oh, I think I'm fine. Thank you.
All right. I like the job I'm currently doing. I'm a people person, and it also gives me a chance to contribute my talents, which are appreciated. In the distant future, I would hope to move up with the company, though, if that's at all possible.
Like I said, right now I've been here 3 months, but I mean, it's a very progressive company, so I look forward to growing with it, expanding with it, and, you know, see if I like retail. I mean, at the very least, if I find that I don't in a year or so, I mean, it's a great thing to have on your resume.
I would tell a young person with a disability who's looking for work to really concentrate on the positive things, and if they can continue to improve, then each day they'll feel better about themselves and hopefully feel less conscious about their disability and focus on their ability to do things rather than on their disability.
DNET would like to hear about your approaches to finding a job. If you'd like more information about the Youth Internship Program, or if you'd like to become a sponsor, ask for this booklet at your local Canada Employment Centre, or write to us. Our address is coming right up. And that's our show this week. I'm Bill McQueen. See you again next week. You can write to us at the Disability Network, CBC, Box 500, Station A, Toronto, M5W1E6. That's Disability Network, CBC, Box 500, Station A, Toronto, M5W1E6. Or you can fax us at area code 416-205-3399. This program is brought to you in part by the Royal Bank of Canada, serving Canadians for 126 years, one customer at a time.